Welcome back, football fans, to another episode of the Prediction Show. In this one, we are going to look at the weekend's action. It is an FA Cup weekend, so we might focus on the other European leagues a little bit more. Let's see what the form guide is saying. And I've also got a very special new feature to show you. OddAlerts AI on live games. The first time I've shown this off on YouTube. So without further ado, and FM25, if you are a fan of that game, it is cancelled. I've just seen 2 a.m. They scheduled that post for Football Manager on X, 2 a.m. after radio silence for months. It is not the best look for them. Anyway, let's get into the video. Yes, welcome back everybody. It is Friday the 7th and I've got a very cool feature to show you before we get into the predictions and analysis for the weekend's fixtures. And as I'm recording this, these are the live games that are on right now. So we've got a game in Mexico, 1-0. I'm going to go on this game here from the CONCACAF Champions League, and I'm going to show you a brand new feature. There is now an AI tab which can help you out when it comes to live analysis, live betting. And what it does, it goes away to our bespoke trained AI model, and it passes it all of the pre-match probability data, the odds, the live odds, the probability model, the stats from the last 10, 15, 20 games for the teams, and it will go away and it will give you a synopsis, a summary, some insights. And we can see here that Pumas is dominating possession, 58%, 19 shots just to Cavalry's 4, but their finishing has been wasteful so far. Cavalry has a strong record, conceding 4 goals in the last 10 games. So this is data. Yes, you can get it all in the stats tab, but the AI knows what to look for. It can give you a helping hand, and it can help you when it comes to finding further selections in the future as well, because it might suggest something that you think, oh, actually, yeah, that could be used given that stat or that data point. And then, yeah, it'll just outlay the decent records that these teams have, if any. There's many times where it'll suggest don't do anything. You know, if it's 5-0, 89 minutes, it's not going to say go for 7-0 or something. Both teams have a high BTTS percentage in their last 10 games, but it's yet to materialize here. So 41 minutes played, it's aware of the game state. Pumas to score first, odds 1.53. That's an interesting angle, isn't it? Because of the pressure that they are applying in this game. Over 1.5 goals in the match, odds at 2.2. Given the sheer number of shots Pumas is taking and Cavalry's need to push forward, this game is likely to see at least 2 goals. The live odds offer value here, so that is the suggestion from the AI model at the moment. And double chance, a little bit of a lower odds offering here. Double chance at Pumas or draw 1.25. Cavalry's defensive resilience makes a draw a plausible outcome as well. So it does try and offer a few different angles. I've seen some great winners in the Discord from corners, which it has been very, very good at offering. So that is the live OddAlerts AI integration. And I just have to come back to this. I'll just jump into the trends to do the next section. It is 1-0 just before half-time. That is crazy. Their first shot on target of the game, they have scored. So Pumas to score first already landed literally about 40 seconds, maybe a minute after I stopped recording that last segment. They have scored, so that just shows the power. Not intended at all, but I just came back to it and saw that it updated, and of course maybe now over 1.5 goals as well at 2.2 was it, will land. So yeah, the pressure monitor itself could have given you that angle for them to score first, but it is just nice to get all of this data, package it together, send it off to our AI, and then get back a nice summary, which is quite readable, I think. I don't want it to be too long, too heavy, yeah, it's always going to be improving as well. And OddAlerts AI, there are more features coming. One feature that will be coming very soon is when you create a filter, there will be a text box here, so you'll be able to say home teams that score often, away teams that have lost 5 or more of the last 10. You can write it in words and it will create the filter for you, which is going to be pretty special, I think. Because there's a lot of people that, you know, there's a lot of rules, isn't there? And where do you start? What rules are best for what markets? Well, we're going to train the AI on some filters. We're going to show them what filters have worked for certain markets, and then it can help you when you need to create filters. So that's going to come soon. Now, let's get stuck into this weekend's video, and we'll start with the trends page. So we're going to start this exploration of the weekend's fixtures on the trends pages, and we're looking at home wins here. And one team that stands out to me at the moment is Real Madrid. They are, of course, hosting Atletico Madrid, who are in decent form themselves. One defeat across all competitions since October for Atletico Madrid. That defeat did come away from home, and away from home they have conceded in 3 of the last 6. But this is probably going to be a tight game, I would expect. Real Madrid scoring for fun at home recently. Let's take a quick look at the data for this one. So here is the run for Atletico Madrid across all competitions. You can see the loss there to Leganés. And apart from that, it is superb since October. Fantastic. And then when we look at Real Madrid, the home form, they've scored 5, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4. That is pretty good, isn't it? And of course, it's not every week that they play Atletico Madrid, and the same goes for Atletico Madrid. It's not every week that they play Real Madrid, so it should be a bit of a different game for both of these teams. The head-to-head, 2 score draws in the last couple of games, 1-1. Tight affairs. A red card in the previous game as well. 4-2 to Atletico Madrid, and in fact, there has not been an away win in this fixture since September 2022, when again there was red cards involved. There's been a red card in 1, 2, 3, 4 of the last, 7 head-to-head meetings, so a feisty affair for sure. But the thing that stands out for me from the head-to-heads is that there's not many away wins here, that they don't come away from home regardless of who it is and get a win, apart from Real Madrid in 2022. We can keep going back, and that is the only away win since a humiliation from Atletico Madrid. 3-7 in 2019. Absolutely mental red cards in that game as well. So which way will this one go? Let's take a quick look at the odds to see what's on offer. So Mbappe to score or assist, he's fired blanks in his last couple of games, but before that I think he was on a run of 4 games where he scored in every game, including a hat-trick, of course. And anytime 2.2, that's not a bad one. Vinicius Jr., there is a doubt over him, I think. Is he injured or something? Shots on target, I would be looking at someone like Julian Alvarez, 1.57. Let's have a quick look at the player props tool here. So we've got the shots on target loaded up, and we're looking at the last 10 games for this fixture, and we can see Mbappe 20 in his last 10, Julian Alvarez 13 in his last 10, and we can look at his actual output here and see that no shots on target in his last 3 games, but all winning games, of course. He's not scored since the Bayer Leverkusen game in the penultimate Champions League fixture that they played. So yeah, what are your predictions for this one? Let us know in the comments. I'm quite liking Mbappe anytime in this one. I think it's a big game. I think he'll step up. He's on penalties as well. And Bellingham to score or assist. What is that? 2.2. I think that's always worth a punt, especially in a big game like this. He's a big game player, is Jude Bellingham. And to score or assist over evens, I quite like the look of that. Let's jump back now to the trends pages. So back on the trends page, we see some of the usual suspects here. There's a game on Saturday here, 1:30. Mamelodi Sundowns, I think this is South Africa, it is, and it's a top of the table clash you would expect here, because they've won every game at home, conceding 0.29 goals per game, 100% record. They are facing a team that's won 80% of their away games. Let's just open this one in a new tab, see if there is some value here, because they are 2.15 to get the job done here. So there could be potential value for the double chance. They don't concede many goals at all, so unders could be the play as well. Let's take a look at this one. So we'll take a look at the data for these two teams. It is first against second, and these two teams are very, very good in South Africa. 2.79 points per game. Both positive goal difference, 26 compared to 19. 2.79 points per game is sensational. 39 points compared to 33. So this is a bit of a 6-pointer. If they can win this game, you would make it their league, to be honest. I mean, 6 points clear at the minute. They can go 9 points clear. In terms of goals, they have conceded just 5. And the away team, Orlando Pirates, They've conceded just 6, to be fair. So not bad at all. If we look at the home form of this team, we know they've won every single game. Conceded just a couple of goals, 4 clean sheets in a row. But of course, they don't play Orlando Pirates every single week. And Orlando Pirates, away from home, have scored in all but one game, failed to score at Cape Town City. They're not scoring many goals, though, away from home, it must be said. At home, they've scored 8, which will bump up the average, so always check the actual occurrences. And it's quite easy to just see by the results tab because they've not played too many games away from home as of yet. The head-to-head should give us a bit of a better picture because sometimes when two very good teams come together, two teams that hardly concede goals, sometimes it can be a stalemate. Other times it can go the other way because they never play teams that are as good as the other team that they're playing. And we can see the last couple of games have ended with BTTS. But then there was a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games where BTTS did not happen from 2022 to 2023. And just a couple of games in 2024, both BTTS, red card in one of those games. Plenty of yellow cards as well in that other game. Not sure why the data isn't there for that game. I'll check that out. So the peak is 2.3 for this one. I'm going to take a look at BTTS here because I'm going to just lean on it going the way of a bit more open, a bit more away from the ordinary in terms of what these teams usually come up against. It's usually defensively so solid for them. So 2.2 for BTTS for this game. That is going to be a single for me, 2.2 on Bet365, and the odds pretty much unified across the board. 2.10 is the lowest across the odds comparison tool. So if we look at the predictions, we look at the probability model, 1.97, so this is a value bet as well, which is always good to know. So BTTS for Mamelodi Sundowns against Orlando Pirates, Saturday 1:30. Let me know what you think about that one in the comments. And now we'll jump back to the trends page and check out some goals. So one thing that I like to do on the trends page is head to over 1.5 goals, and there's usually a huge list of 100% records here. So Bayern Munich, every single game at home for them, 10 out of 10, over 1.5 goals, as you would expect. Sydney as well in the A-League. Stade Nouilles in Switzerland, close, I was going to say France. Leverkusen away from home, 1.2. What I like to do is go through and set alerts on these games because, as you can see, there is literally every single team. It loads the top 50 teams and every team is 100%, and it's the same for the home teams as well. So even though we are deep into the season, there are so many teams where there is pretty much guaranteed goals in their games, at least 2 goals. So what I'm going to do is go and set some alerts on these games. I'll see you in a few seconds. So there we are. I've set an alert on all the games that I fancied, and I just set it to the same value, 1.4, especially those games where the odds are not available. So when they become available, they usually open at about 1.3, 1.4, and I will go in and monitor the game and see what the pressure algorithm is saying as well. So from 1.5 goals to BTTS, let's take a look at some of these away teams. Again, we've got 100% records here. Tottenham under 21s, 6 out of 6. We can say, let me know when that hits 1.6, and we save that, and that will be a notification that we hopefully get on Friday night. That is 7 p.m. We'll do the same for the Leicester City game. The under 21s, the PDL, the Professional Development League, is fantastic for BTTS and first half goals via the alerts. We've got an Everton game here as well. And we'll just do that as well. And you can see that they're not playing each other. They're playing Brighton, they're playing Man United, and they're playing Norwich. But so many 100% records for BTTS. We've got another one here, Blackburn Rovers playing Man City, and there's just goals galore. So it is a really good league for the alerts. You can check out the leagues page as well, just to qualify how many games have actually ended with BTTS. But for first half goals for BTTS as well, you can get it at about, I'd say 1.8, 1.9 after about 15, 16 minutes if it's 0-0 still, if it's been a bit of a slow start. And yeah, let's continue to look at some of these games and try and find some more predictions. So on page 2 here, Leverkusen, 8 out of 9 games have ended with BTTS landing. And I'm going to look at this game because BTTS 90% for Wolfsburg, who I remember seeing from the Football Form Guide recently. They're in decent form. They're in absolutely good form. Absolutely good. They're in good form. And 4.5 for the win, 1.85 for Bayer Leverkusen is decent, I think. Gravitating just without even looking at the stats, just knowing what Leverkusen can do, what they've done recently. They did go to extra time, I think, in the week, didn't they, in the Cup? So, yeah, that would be something that actually plays into this game. You know, if they are a bit tired, BTTS more likely to happen. So let's have a look here. Wolfsburg, in terms of their form, it was good, as you can see there. A couple of defeats, 3 defeats since the 13th of December. One of them at the hands of Munich, Dortmund and Freiburg. So, yeah, not the end of the world for them. At home, they are scoring goals. That is something that stands out to me. And look at the goals in those games there. We can just take a look at the actual occurrences and the data. Just check we're on home. Yes, so they've scored 2.1 per game this season, but they've also conceded 2.1 per game this season. In terms of the XG per game, 1.81 goals and 1.75. And for Bayer Leverkusen, just 1.12 away from home, which is very good, of course. Failed to score, that's what you want to see, isn't it? Zeros for both of these teams. That is quite nice. Clean sheet, very low. Very similar data when we look at this data here. BTTS 90%. If we look at overall form, it goes to 80%. So BTTS happening an awful lot for Wolfsburg. And I think with Leverkusen playing in the week as they did. In terms of scoring over 1.5 goals, Leverkusen have done it in 78% of away games, which is pretty impressive. And they've also conceded 2 or more in 44%, which I would say is pretty high for a team that wants to be, up there and challenging for the title. But such is the excitement of the Bundesliga. If we look at overall competitions, this was the game. FC Köln, they were 2-1 down in the 93rd minute, I think it was, and they brought it back and then won the game in extra time. And they're in decent form, decent goal-scoring form. Wolfsburg, can we just check? They played on the 2nd of February, so they have had a bit more time to prepare for this one, which I think leans into them continuing their goal-scoring run. And, I quite like this one. I'm going to look at a couple of markets now, so let's jump to Bet365. So for this one, this is 2:30, by the way, on Saturday, and we're going to take a look. 1.8, so the odds have dropped slightly from 1.85. I'm going to go Leverkusen to win and both teams to score. Now, I think if you wanted less risk, you could do this and go for 1.95 here, over 2 goals and BTTS, because with the potential of tired legs for Leverkusen, they could go behind, which is great for BTTS, but will they come back to win the game as they have in so many games over the past sort of 18 months? Or will it be more of a 2-2 draw? You know, I can see that kind of game as well. So for me, I'll probably take the more riskier option of BTTS and Leverkusen to win 3-2, 3-1, 2-1, 3.25. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. We're going to end with some value bets here on the value bets page, and I wanted to show you because a brand new bookmaker has been added in the past week. Betfair Exchange is now available on the value betting applications on OddAlerts, which, if you know how the exchange works, this is massive. And just wanted to show you some of the value bets on offer. Given my settings at the moment, we are sorting by value, so we can see one game here, which I'm going to open in a new tab because there is massive value. I've already taken this at 5.8. Burnley to beat Southampton was 5.8. Let's take a look. I was very surprised when I saw it at that. Southampton, not very good at all. Now the odds are 1.75 for Southampton. I don't think it is beyond the realms of possibility that Burnley, who have the best defence in England at the moment, in terms of how little they are conceding, how many chances they don't concede as well. But you can see the movement of the odds here. And if we look at the Betfair Exchange, You can see the journey that it's been on. It got to a peak of, I think, 5.8, started at 5.8. That's when my value bet alert came through. Went up to 6.2, so it's peaked even higher. And now it's around 5.5 on the exchange. I just think that's incredible value, really, given the signings that Burnley made as well, close to the deadline. The confidence of Southampton, the fact that they don't need a cup run, Southampton, it's the last thing they need. They need to focus on the Premier League. And if we look at all competitions for Burnley, they've not conceded a goal in the last 5 games. I'm not saying Burnley will win this game, absolutely, and that's not what value betting is either. It's just about spotting value. Based on Burnley and what they can do, 5.8, which is the current price on Betfair Exchange, that screams value to me, because for me, I believe that if you can keep a clean sheet, which they did against Leeds, by the way, and if you know the Championship, you know how Leeds are playing at the moment, you'll know that that is a good thing, that if you can keep a clean sheet against Leeds, who are scoring for fun, and they just need to add goals to their game. So even double chance, I mean, them getting to 90 minutes, I don't think there's replays, is there? So yeah, getting to 90 minutes and making it to extra time. Let's check out the odds for that. And let me know what you think about this one. Do you not see the value? Do you think that Southampton, despite being terrible in the Premier League, are still better than Burnley? I don't know. I think there's a lot to be said about a solid defence, and one thing that Southampton do not have is a solid defence. They're giving away so many sloppy goals at the moment, and Burnley or draw, 2.15. I think that is absolutely superb. So that is my final prediction, and of course it is a value bet as per the probability model, as per the new Betfair Exchange value bets as well. Plenty of fixtures to go at on OddAlerts this weekend. Let me know if you've got any feedback, any thoughts, anything you want to see added to the website, and I will of course get on that straight away. And until then, see you in the next one.